Hello everyone. Here is Jack, narrating the motion picture BaRbArIaN. Essayist, Chief Zach Kreger shows how him can be a bona fide Jack in the case frightfulness movie producer with Savage, starting with a horrible that could happen to any of us, a twofold reserved Airbnb. Narrative specialist Tess, a phenomenal Georgina Campbell, shows up around evening time in the heavy storm to a little house in a neglected piece of Detroit, and a sluggish person named Keith is now remaining there. He at last persuades her to remain until they can get this arranged. She can see his proof of reservation, he'll take the lounge chair, he can watch her open the container of wine somebody left before he pours. Kreger, of sketch bunch The Whitest Children You Know and their Playboy magazine fraternity parody, Miss Walk, realizes well the thing he's playing with here. The optics of this lady placing herself in specific weakness are awkward, and his monetary filmmaking pushes it just so. Before sufficiently long, now is the right time to look at the storm cellar, which, no huge spoilers here, however you presumably would have zero desire to go down there, or past the entryway that can be opened with a strand of rope. Powerful fear comes in different sizes from this story, now and again because of pushy plotting. But the unpleasant secrets and odd uncovers are bounty instinctive in Brute, in any event, when they get unshakably stupid. Did I make reference to that the other Airbnb fellow is played by Bill Skarsgård of It? For additional evidence that projecting is an indispensable piece of movie making, consider Skarsgård's incorporation, one of the film's disrupting pieces, as disrupting as the house's various mystery, dim passages. Here, the previous Pennywise the jokester utilizes his easygoing presence, those roundabout eyes and that overwhelming figure, displacing it with an anxious meandering aimlessly, continuing endlessly while attempting to make sense of that. He really focuses on Tess having a solid sense of reassurance in this unusual circumstance. Is it simply an incapacitating demonstration? Is Skarsgård playing another tricking creep? Savage gets a decent measure of adrenaline from that inquiry, and responds to it in one of the film's best scenes. Later on, Justin Long appears at the house. His Hollywood fella AJ is presented flashing down some waterfront street in a convertible, just to figure out in a call that he's being blamed for doing something horrendous to an entertainer. As somebody who probably did said thing, AJ is more worried about his profession and in putting this behind him. Long is skilled at playing the truly horrible nature of the person, down to a decent laugh uncontrollably joke by the way he engages with this wreck at the Airbnb. Savage could be more clever, and its absence of more light-hearted element is a cop-out. A film like this twists on that character's decisions, and Long's smooth wet blanket is its most solid development. There's nothing strikingly new to Brute, and its utilization of a killed Detroit as a person doesn't do what's needed to shake off don't relax correlations, yet the creative driving forces of Kreger's venture make it an intense interest. The film has a convincing impulse of when to suddenly cut and excursion us from one freaky second to an alternate time region or decade, permitting the watcher to inhale while then giving close consideration to how the most recent biography will fit in. Also, there's a desire in how these new components are incorporated, making vignettes of sorts made of cinematographer Zach Cooperstein's different viewpoint proportions and broad shots, filling in the film's thick environment. The title, Brute, rings all through, similar to the howling ensemble and shrieking strings from Anna Drubich's score. Its importance makes a figurative place of mirrors, and shockingly so. It's nearly, practically enough to divert from how the initial two demonstrations of Savage are feeling the loss of the sealed-shut shrewdness that could make it an incredible loathsomeness script. The film banners when Kreger depends on helpful to him choices of numerous types, as far as one might be concerned. In a story that makes unpropitious entryways excess, he can be outrageously powerful in getting characters to open them, peer in and glance around, forfeiting the reasonable way of behaving that keeps us really sucked in. Brute, then ultimately simply needs to be as bananas as could really be expected, and the devolution can glare. But, for however clear his pathways can in some cases feel for his characters, Kreger does very well with the disturbing haziness that encompasses them, and which particularly comes from seeing a wild film like this in the theater. The areas of completely dark in Brute are unpleasant to gaze at, and your pulse might concur.